Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy HG bringing you guys a domination on bootleg. And the title of this video says it all. We're going to go ahead and talk about the Xbox versus the PlayStation 3 pertaining to Call of Duty. Now, this has nothing to do with which console is better for gaming or better for watching movies or anything like that. This is just a opinion, my opinion, of which console plays Call of Duty better. Okay? And this is really for people who are, thinking about making the transition from one or the other. If you're a PlayStation 3 player and you're thinking about going to Xbox, this may help you in your decision. I have both systems, so I want people to know that this is unbiased. This is just me giving you guys my opinion. So first off, we're going to start with connection, okay? Obviously, if you're paying for internet service, if you're paying for Xbox Live, it should be better than the PlayStation Network. It just should, okay? And it is. Host and 4-bar is the only thing that's good on PSN. If you have 3-bar or less, it's unplayable. The game sucks. The hit detection is bad. You're going to get really frustrated. You're going to think you're hitting the guy when you're actually not. It's just fucking awful. On the 360, you can actually be a 3-bar and compete against a host and 4-bar. There's a slight disadvantage, but not such a drastic disadvantage like on the PlayStation Network, where it becomes, like I said, unplayable and broken. So if we're going to talk about connection, the 360 wins in that case. The next is controller. Now the controller, I know people are going to want to talk about ergonomics and comfort and all that nonsense. I don't give a shit about any of that. To be honest with you, both controllers are incredibly comfortable. I like them both, okay? But the PlayStation DualShock 3's controller is so much more responsive and so much more accurate, and you can play on a higher sensitivity and really get that accurate shot without having to worry about overshooting or undershooting because of the sensitivity. On the 360's controller, there's a dead zone. Okay, now some of you may not know what that is, but a dead zone is essentially a zone around the thumbstick, the left thumbstick, and the right thumbstick, that is dead to movement. Okay, you have to push the controller or the thumbstick a little bit more to get movement out of it. Okay, and that really affects your game if you're coming from the PlayStation 3. For me, that is the biggest hurdle I've had to overcome when making the transition. Not the level of competition, not the connection, not none of that stuff. It's the controller that was my biggest issue. Because I'm so used to such an accurate, responsive controller that when I went to the Xbox and I started to see that, to notice that dead zone, to notice that weight in the player, and that's what you do. You feel a weight when you're moving around the map because of that dead zone. So I'm going to have to go with the PlayStation 3 when we're talking about controllers. The third thing is sound. Okay, and we're not talking about explosions or fucking gun sounds or anything like that. What I'm talking about are details, sound whoring, okay? Footsteps, the pulling of a pin, from a grenade or a flash or a stun, the clicking of a reload. All of that stuff is much more clear and it's much more detailed on the 360. Now, I don't know if that has something to do with the console. I don't know if that has something to do with the code that was written by Infinity Ward or Treyarch, but it sounds much more clear and much more distinct on Xbox 360. You can sound tour much better on the 360. For some reason, on the PlayStation 3, footsteps are muffled, so they have to get actually pretty close to you to really hear them clearly, to know if they're coming or going. And for anyone who says, "Oh, your headset must suck," that's why. No, I have Astro A40, so my headset doesn't suck. I have the best headset on the market. So with that, the sound, we're gonna have to go with the 360. Fourth is the biggest argument we hear when talking about the PlayStation 3 and Xbox when it comes to Call of Duty, and that's level of competition. Which one has better players? Which one has, the tryhards? Which one has the guys who are, great and blah, 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 blah. The only difference, guys, personally, is that there are more players that are good on 360, okay? There are very good players on the PlayStation 3. There's just not as many of them as there are in the 360, okay? if you are a competitive gamer or are looking to get into competitive gaming, the 360 really is the way to go, because everybody sort of caters to the competitive Call of Duty community on 360. I mean, that's where all the tournaments are. Icons, 360 icons, you know, fucking GB tournaments, Deserto, all of those are focused on the 360. So you're going to get the tournaments and the leagues and all that shit with Xbox 360. But, you know, for anybody out there who thinks that I'm trying to bash on PlayStation 3 players, I'm not. Again, I'm a PlayStation 3 player, guys. I came from the PlayStation 3 and went to Xbox, and I'm just as good. So anybody who says, oh, you know, you'd get smacked if you came over to Xbox, that's crap. That's a lie. That's all bullshit. There's noobs on both fucking consoles, guys. There's a lot of fucking noobs on both consoles, okay? So, you know, if we're going to sit here and talk about which players are better and which console is better at this, it's a push. The only difference, like I said, is there's just more of them on the 360. And that's really because there's more people who play on the 360 than there is the PlayStation 3. And lastly, kind of goes in with the players, is activity. How active is the Call of Duty community on which system? And this has a lot to do with what I spoke about, you know, just now, and that's, you know, the competitive side, the tournaments, the different leagues, the LAN events, Major League Gaming. You know, you're going to see a lot more of that on the 360, and that really does kind of flow over to, you know, carry over to the pub games. There's, personally, from my experience, from what I've seen and what I've played, there just seems to be more people playing Call of Duty on Xbox than there is on the PlayStation 3. You know, the friends that I have on the Xbox play more than the friends that I do on PlayStation 3. And that could just be me. That could just be, you know, I could be an exception. You know, maybe if you're a PlayStation 3 player, you have, you know, tons of people that play, and you never seem to get into a lobby that's, you know, half full or whatever. But from my perspective, from my experience, it just seems that there's more people playing on Xbox. Now, I hope this review or this, you know, kind of discussion helps you guys if you're thinking about making the transition. You know, I've had my Xbox now for, I want to say, about 6 months, 7 months, and I love it. You know, it's awesome, and I'm really glad I got it. I did not buy the Xbox for Call of Duty. I bought it for Gears of War and Halo. You know, I bought Call of Duty because I had a friend that played it, and I figured, well, why not, right? Why not give it a shot and play? So, if I had to pick between the two, though, of which one I was going to play and which one, you know, I'd want to play on Call of Duty, I'm sorry, guys, but, you know, to my PlayStation 3 buddies, it's going to have to be the Xbox. Hope this helps, guys. Please rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and tell me what you guys think, if you play on either one of the systems or if you have both. Later, fellas.